Asterisk. In the heart of Silicon Valley, 30 of the nation's brightest engineers battled a code no one could solve. Deadlines passed. Millions of dollars hung in the balance. The company's future seemed doomed, but then, someone unexpected walked into the boardroom. Not a Harvard graduate, not a Silicon Valley veteran, a 24-year-old delivery girl carrying pizza boxes. Within minutes, she would see what others couldn't and change the fate of a billion-dollar company forever. Asterisk. The city of innovation was restless. Skyscrapers glowed with ambition, and inside one of the biggest tech companies in America. Tension was rising like a storm. This company had promised the world something revolutionary. A banking security system so advanced it would redefine trust in digital finance. But there was a problem. A problem so deep, so elusive, that even their 30 top engineers couldn't crack it. The lab looked like a battlefield of ideas. Whiteboards filled with scribbles, equations layered over equations. Engineers hunched over glowing monitors, their faces pale under the fluorescent lights. Coffee cups piled in corners. Their eyes carried the weight of sleepless nights. At the center of it all stood Jonathan Hawley, the 52-year-old CEO, a man known for bold ideas and fearless leadership. But tonight, fear crept into his eyes. He paced in silence, staring at the giant screen flashing red error codes. Every failed attempt screamed, "Broken, broken." "Marcus," he snapped at the lead engineer, a weary 38-year-old with glasses sliding down his nose. "Tell me you have progress." Marcus rubbed his temples. "We tried everything. Rebuilt the loop. Rewrote the script. Every fix just breaks another part of the system." Jonathan's voice cracked with frustration. "We promised investors results last week. Do you understand what's at stake? If this collapses, the company's reputation goes with it." Silence filled the room. Someone whispered what no one dared to say. "Maybe it's impossible." Jonathan slammed his fist on the glass wall. "Impossible? Nothing is impossible. Not here. Not in Silicon Valley." But deep inside, even he began to wonder, while the engineers fought their invisible war. Another story was quietly unfolding just outside the building. Emily Carter, a 24-year-old delivery girl, adjusted the strap of her faded hoodie and balanced 3 large pizza boxes in her arms. She wasn't supposed to be here, not in the marble-floored headquarters of a billion-dollar company. But tonight, she was making another late-night delivery, hustling to pay her way through community college. Her sneakers squeaked against the polished floor as the security guard checked her badge. She looked out of place among the suits and shiny glass walls. Yet fate had led her straight into the storm. When she entered the boardroom, exhausted engineers barely looked up. She set the pizzas on the table. But just as she turned to leave, her eyes caught the giant screen filled with endless lines of code. Most people would see nothing but chaos. But Emily froze. Since childhood, she had loved puzzles. Math, logic games, riddles, they were her secret escape from the noise of life. And what she saw on the screen wasn't random chaos. To her, it looked like a pattern, a puzzle begging to be solved. She tilted her head, whispering to herself, "That loop. It doesn't need more code. It needs less." One engineer noticed her staring. "Delivery's done. Thanks, you can go." Emily hesitated. Her voice was small but steady. "Sorry, I don't mean to intrude, but I think I see where it's going wrong." The room fell silent. 30 of the best engineers in the country turned toward the pizza girl. Someone chuckled. "Really? You think you can fix what 30 engineers couldn't?" Jonathan, the CEO, raised an eyebrow. "You're not serious." Emily's cheeks burned, but she didn't back down. "It's not about writing more lines. You're looping the validation twice. You need a conditional escape. It's simple." The lead engineer, Marcus, crossed his arms, skeptical. "Go on then. Show us." Emily walked nervously toward the whiteboard, setting down her pizza bag. She grabbed a marker, her hands trembling slightly. She pointed to a section of the code. "Right here. You're feeding the loop back into itself endlessly. All you need is an exit condition. Instead of chasing complexity, simplify." Her marker squeaked across the board as she sketched out a new structure, clean, logical, almost elegant in its simplicity. For a moment, the room was dead quiet. Then Marcus typed her suggestion into the system. Everyone leaned forward as the program ran. The red errors vanished. The system compiled. Smooth. Perfect. A hush fell over the room, followed by gasps. Engineers who had mocked her now stared in disbelief. She actually fixed it. Jonathan's jaw tightened. For weeks, his top engineers had failed. And yet here, in less than 10 minutes, a pizza delivery girl had done the impossible. The CEO wasted no time. Minutes later, Emily found herself in the grand boardroom where investors sat with folded arms. Ready to hear excuses, Jonathan strode in confidently. "Ladies and gentlemen, tonight you're going to see something extraordinary." The system ran flawlessly on the big screen. Investors leaned forward, whispering in amazement. One asked, "Which of your engineers solved it?" Jonathan smiled and gestured toward Emily, still standing in her hoodie, clutching her pizza bag. "She did." Disbelief rippled through the room. "The delivery girl?" Emily's cheeks flushed. She shrugged and said softly, "I just love puzzles." The boardroom erupted in applause. What 30 engineers couldn't do, she had achieved in minutes. By the next morning, headlines blazed across the United States. "Delivery girl cracks the code that stumped Silicon Valley's best." Emily Carter became an overnight sensation. Universities offered scholarships. Tech companies offered jobs. Talk shows invited her to share her story. But in every interview, Emily gave the same humble answer: "I wasn't supposed to be there." But maybe that's the point. Sometimes the answers don't come from the people with the fanciest degrees or the biggest titles. Sometimes it takes fresh eyes and the courage to speak up. The world listened. The engineers who once doubted her now respected her. And Jonathan, the CEO who almost lost faith, learned a truth that would stay with him forever. Genius isn't always hidden in boardrooms or Ivy League halls. Sometimes it's walking the streets in sneakers, carrying pizza boxes, waiting for a chance to be seen. Never underestimate the minds the world overlooks. So the next time you feel invisible, remember Emily. Remember that brilliance has no uniform, no degree, no permission slip. The world's greatest breakthroughs don't always come from the top. Sometimes they come from the most unexpected places. And when they do, they remind us of something timeless. The impossible is only impossible until someone refuses to believe it.